Should you be thinking about scale at the get-go? How should you be thinking about scale? And what are some sound practices for you to think about relative to the scale of where you want to get to?
I love to see companies figure out what it's going to take to get to the cash flow break even, not profitability. People talk about, I don't want you to make a profit. Anything that's beyond what you need, invest it back into the company. But I love to see companies be able to reach a point where you might hear the term optionality. The notion is, in theory, you don't have to raise more money. You can survive. You may want to raise more money to continue to grow, to scale, to whatever you need to do. I mean, capital, there's usually never enough capital. You always could do more with more, right? Even though we like, as with the entrepreneur's hat on too, to be able to gauge that. What am I giving up for that capital? How expensive is it? In a down market, you might want to hunker down a little bit. And if you're cash flow positive, just keep going, but not raise to scale until you can get your money at a better price. Or unless you think there's a competitor out there that may come in and take more market share in a down market. So you make the judgment decision to take more money, even though it may be expensive. But at least you're in a good position. If you're burning cash and you've got a runway of even 6 months, that goes quickly. 5, 4, 3, 2, you're going to get more stressed and need the money. So you just end up paying a big premium for not having raised enough in a different value inflection points. So I think about scale as something that conceptually you're going to want to understand. At what volume level do your unit costs go down? And at what point do you have just the benefits of scale, of virality perhaps? What is that like? The scale that comes from AR, where it's a renewal. How do you make sure the customers are happy and focus on that? But that's very different than going after new customers from a cost perspective. It's always harder to get new than to retain old and existing. So I think having the ability to be aware of the power of scale, and then what does that do to your business? So how do you have that compounding effect? And then you would be able to have a really good, exciting business model and plan could be executed. And then I would pull back and say, okay, that's the goal. How do I get to where I'm in control of that, ideally?